Record. There we go. All right. So we're going to introduce you. Miguel Martinez is joining us for Breaking Bread. And he's going to share a bit about his story of how Breaking Bread came to be. And as people arrive, they can just join in the conversation. So welcome, Miguel. Martin, you want to throw anything out there? Or we're all, if you want to go off camera, everybody, that's cool. But Miguel, it's to you.
Okay. Martin, is there anything you want to say?
I'm just interested in how this origin story goes.
All right, cool. All right. So before we get to Breaking Bread, we have to get to USI, how it started, right? USI was created by Armando and Javier, the undergraduates. I was a master's student at that time. And they came up to me and said, hey, we heard you were incarcerated, right? I don't know where, I don't know how they found out, but everybody's connected, right? Like all the people of color are connected, right? So they knew that I was incarcerated before. I said, yeah, I've been incarcerated. And that's how we met. That's how we met. It was just like random. I think it was outside of YRL, by the little tables, right? All the little tables that are there in front of YRL. And so I gave my number and said, okay, we can have a meeting for formerly incarcerated people. So I gave my number. Yeah, for sure, I'll be there. And we had the first meeting. There. And so we were on the meeting. I forget how many people. It's probably around 7 people there, right? Mostly formerly incarcerated. Not everybody was formerly incarcerated. They were system impacted. And I just have the inner feeling, like, for this to succeed, there needs to be a sense of community, all right? A sense of home, a sense of family, right? Of belonging. Because that's how I succeeded, right? In community college, I was always in part of groups, and we always had something, right? We always had something to do that made us feel like we were at home. So I took the initiative, to talk to Gene, and we said, hey, could we do something, right, for formerly incarcerated people, something like Breaking Bread, right? And the concept was created to help, formerly incarcerated people feel at home, right? And how do we do that? Is by breaking bread, right? Because when you're breaking bread with somebody, you're eating with someone, you feel at home, right? So that was created in the 580, right? And it was a way to get resources as well, because the 580 is established, right? And at that time, USI was kind of a concept. We weren't even really ready. We weren't even really a group yet. It was just like a concept. So we started doing that. We started meeting up every Thursday, right? Every Thursday we would have good food, real good food. We would have like I think what's that place that I used to get that was very healthy? I think Veggie Grill.
Veggie Grill and Tender Greens. That's where you always ordered from.
Or Tender Greens. Yeah. So we were like eating steak and stuff. It was cool. And so like everybody was like really happy to like get together and eat well and just share what's going on, right? So when we get together, we would share like what's going on with you. Is there anything that's happening, good or bad, right? Good or bad, like what's going on? Where are some wins that you had this week? Where do you need support? And we'll do a roundtable. We're just talking about what's going on, what are your wins, anything that you need support in, and share resources and share stories, right? Share stories, and in the process, eating, sharing our stories, the feedback that we need, that support that we need. We all got closer, and that's when USI started growing, right? We all started growing. Everybody started coming. And I think that same year, the first year, we also had a retreat, right? That 580 funded, right? 580 funded, for partially, I believe, or if not completely. We went to this is a desert place down in the south. I think it was. Do you recall, Gene, the name?
Yeah, it was out by Joshua Tree. It was,
Joshua Tree Retreat Center.
yeah,
We went
yeah.
to Joshua Retreat Center. Yeah, and we did a whole program on leadership development. And of course, we had some fun too, right? We had a little carne asada at the end and stuff like that to get together. And it was fun. That's what we did. Yeah.
Yep.
That was the first year. It was kind of like an intermingling, right? Like 580 and Cafe working together. Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Bobby
That's
Cafe is
cool.
kind of like a mother to us, like figuratively and literally, because Gene, right?
Mm.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm trying to figure
So
that. Yeah,
yeah, and
And
that's how it started. Yeah,
Yeah. yeah, because before that on campus, there was not really much resources for formerly incarcerated, right?
yeah,
Or first gen or people of color. There was a lot of challenging to get those resources. So before USI started to get going, that was in 2018, 2017.
around those years,
Yeah, so
2017.
you had been here before as a student, because I've known you a while. You were here before. You were
Yeah.
here as an undergrad. Can you just
Mm.
share a little bit about what that was like being at UCLA before there was this kind of support for the formerly incarcerated students?
Oh yeah, man, you had to be undercover. Nobody knew who was incarcerated. It was like, shh, don't tell nobody. You know what I mean? So like when Armando came to me and asked me, hey, he literally came up to me and tapped me and said, and he was bald too. He was bald that time, and I wasn't bald. I had a little comb over like a lawyer. So that was low key. I was low key, and he's like, hey, are you Miguel? Yeah. Hey, I heard you were incarcerated before. I was like, what? I was kind of like taken aback. I was like, okay, yeah, I have been, right? And so that's kind of like dynamic that was before, right?
Mhm.
Like nobody really knew. Only a few people, Gene, maybe some people who were really close to me knew that I was incarcerated. Not too many people. And after that, when USI got created, it was like a big thing. Like everybody was hearing about it. Like there's a group for formerly incarcerated people, and other people were supporting people from other clubs, other organizations. They were kind of promoting it, like, hey, there's a new group called USI, like Mecha, for example. We would have meetings. That was in Mecha as well, and we would say, hey, look, if you're formerly incarcerated or your system impacted, there's a new group that you can join and like connect with others there, and that caused a lot of like awareness on campus of formerly incarcerated people, and we started getting more resources, more support. I think we got like a few things on the student government ballot for more resources and things like that. And we had a group, we had events, Just Culture. I don't know if you still have Just Culture, right? Do y'all know?
There was, yes, yeah, I think so. I think there was last year. Did we do anything, y'all? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just Culture.
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, so we became known on campus, and it wasn't such a big like a big deal to like keep it under wraps, right? We started changing the dialogue and the discourse on that. But see, that's a big difference, big difference before USI and then after USI, and we all knew that it was gonna happen. Something. I don't know, it's something in the air or something. But all of us knew that more people who were going to be coming out of the prisons, out of the system, are going to be coming to higher ed. It's just like we knew we had to leave something, and yeah, we work our butt off to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Miguel. So I'm just going to open it up. Y'all, this is your time to ask and talk to Miguel, because if you hadn't gathered, he knows a lot, and he's been through it with y'all, and is one of the founding people making it the resources. And I think for me, that's really the important story here, is all the resources that are available come from students advocating and being there and finding a way through the mess that can be UCLA's bureaucracy. But having to be almost invisible on campus for a lot of reasons. But then when you find your voice, how do you get those resources? So really, Breaking Bread kind of helped and engaged with USI as they were getting started to really build those relationships, which I think is critical. That's why we have that connection, y'all, is because of Miguel, because he understood the need for community and support together. So Miguel, thanks for taking that risk all those years ago. Now it's just like, God, all those years ago, doesn't seem like it. But you know,
Yeah, and
go
yeah,
ahead.
and so yeah, and so I have to share this. I kind of started right where it happened, but before USI, right, I would be at the 580. That was a safe space, right? Safe space where everybody from marginalized communities got together, right? And there's always resources there, right? There's no bureaucracy like, oh, people give you the runaround about your immigration status. For example, I'm undocumented, right? And I have a felon. Okay, so it's harder for me. It's hard for me to get a lot of things, right? That's why I have this like grit and this will to, always be working, and pushing. So that's why I knew about the 580. Okay, the 580 is radical as F. Okay, as F. And so, friends told me about that place as a resource that I could go to. You want to be judged, and they'll help you out. And so I knew right away that when USI was starting, that a 580 could be a place that can help us out, and that's why it was created there. That's why that was one of the first programs that USI had. It was created in 580. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. But it does sit independent from UCLA, and I want to be really clear on that. And that's the reason, so that it's a safe space where you don't have to worry about being watched over or under the control of. So thanks for sharing that, Miguel. And